So we are back with the Epstein stuff. A few days ago, the at least 3 million files were released, as well as like videos, emails, photos. It was mainly like a shit ton of fucking emails. But there's a lot of like stuff going around, like whether he created Bitcoin, whether he was involved with like pretty much everyone on the fucking planet. And like you could see there were so many big fucking names in it. He has relations to Microsoft, probably transgenderism being pushed on the public. There are conspiracies going that maybe he was the one who helped create COVID. There's a shit ton. Basically all this did was, instead of make the investigation or make everything more clear, it just brought upon like a billion more conspiracy theories, because like this guy was every fucking where. Like everywhere. Like everybody knew him. Everybody was associated with him. Everybody talked to him. Everybody emailed him. Everybody knew about him. Everybody went to him for advice. Everybody talked to him about stuff. It's actually fucking crazy. But like, yeah, it got really big. But let's get on to a few of the ones. But Epstein's World of Warcraft newly discovered emails reveal Epstein had a World of Warcraft account in 2010. Now this one is, to be honest, not the biggest news, but yeah, World of Warcraft and shit. Here's one on Elon Musk saying they need to release Epstein's videos and victims' images blurred out. He recorded everything. This will eliminate all doubt. I'm none of them, but many prominent people, especially on the left, are game over. And I agree. I agree with all the videos and stuff being released. There are obviously, I think, 3 million more final files that have to be released on the Epstein stuff before the entire story is over. And yeah, we're gonna see how it all pans out, but this is just fucking crazy. Then there's a Reddit user on Reddit that managed to log into Epstein's Outlook account before using the information he found to officially release the files. Epstein's password was number one island. Bro, that's fucking dumb. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Jeffrey Epstein's email. Most likely it was hacked, the password was changed, and someone already, most likely. Unless someone, like, made something accessible to the entire public so they could see from his entire Outlook. Here's a few videos on most infamous private island in America.
Most infamous private island in America is only 2 miles from a tourist hotspot. It's Little St. James in the U.S. Virgin Islands, better known as Epstein Island. From above, it looks like paradise, but its name is tied to one of the darkest criminal cases in modern U.S. history. In 1998, Jeffrey Epstein bought the 70-acre island and transformed it into a self-contained compound. Mansion, villas, helipad, dock, even its own water system. By 2008, dozens of staff worked there year-round, but the island became notorious because prosecutors later alleged it was used as part of Epstein's trafficking operation involving underage girls. Court documents and survivor testimony placed the island at the center of his criminal network. Then came the mysterious gold-domed structure. Its purpose was never officially explained, adding to the island's eerie reputation. Hurricane Irma destroyed the dome in 2017. After Epstein's arrest and death in 2019, the island sat abandoned until it sold in 2023 for $60 million. Today, it remains sealed off, a tropical island forever linked to one of the most disturbing scandals in American history.
Bro, I wonder who actually bought that shit. This is kind of like how Diddy's house was being sold. Whoever buys that shit, bro, that's gonna be fucked. I don't think they should accept visitors and shit for that. But there's this. Here's more on Elon Musk, which is Jeffrey Epstein asked Elon Musk, "Do you think I'm retarded?" after having to spell out that he had described as a UN diplomat get-together was actually a party of very cute women aged 25 and under. But yeah. Do you think I am retarded? Just kidding. There's no one over 25 and all very cute on Wednesday. I run and lead the project design engineering for the two complicated companies Moreover, SpaceX is about to launch arguably the most advanced rocket in history, flying to New York to see UN diplomats, nothing to be unwise of time. Any plans for New York opening the General Assembly has many interests, people coming to your house. The information contained in this communication is confidential and must be attorney-client privilege. Constitute in the information included only for Jeffrey Epstein. Unauthorized use. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. That makes sense. That's just the DOJ stuff. There was that. There was Bill Gates discussed with Jeffrey Epstein the murder of poor peoples in the world. 2011. Anytime you can always call home or make sure you have my cell. Blank Jeffrey on Friday, February 4, 2011, 7:48 a.m. wrote, "Cool, I'm excited. Also, I've been thinking about a lot of the questions you asked about Bill Gates. How do we get rid of poor people as a whole? And I have an answer. Comment regarding that for you. When I can call you today to discuss this. Sent via BlackBerry." Damn. So that's it, guys. We're all becoming. That's it, guys. We're either all becoming rich or we're all gonna fucking die. Well, yeah, there's that. So hopefully, this is about all of us becoming rich instead of all of us dying. But you know, Bill Gates is creepy. It is Bill Gates, though. There's also other stuff, which is Stephen Hawking visited the island. Epstein says he duct taped Hawking's head on the chair so he could go underwater in a submarine since it was his dream diving. In a separate message, Epstein writes, "No kidding, one girl said that she had sex with my friend Stephen Hawking." Bro, it better have been one of those nerd bitches, bro. There ain't no way a regular girl having sex with the computer guy of all shit, of all things. But here he is in a submarine, going around the island, blah, blah, blah. There's him. Let's see. Yeah, two blonde girls. Yeah, so I guess one of them did. Let's go over here. These are all friends, each wonderfully crazy in their own way. The art world, however, still leads. The Hawking came to my island and said his dream was to go diving. I duct taped his head to a high chair and loaded him into a private sub. Great fun. The girls read my address book. No kidding. One girl said she had sex with my friend Stephen Hawking. I don't even want to imagine that, bro. I don't even want to imagine that. That sounds weird as fuck. But yeah. Nobody has fought harder for the release of Epstein files and prosecutions of those who abuse children more than I did, knowing full well the legacy media, far left propagandists, are those who are actually guilty. To be honest, I actually mainly agree with Elon because Trump and Elon had a big fallout over this, where Elon wanted this stuff released to the public, and he was the biggest. He was actually the biggest voice talking about this because Elon Musk has motion. Elon Musk has actual fucking emotion. So it became one of the most popular tweets on on the site at the time. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, admit nothing, deny everything, make counter accusations against me. I knew I would be smeared relentlessly despite never having attended his parties or being on the Lolita Express plane or set foot on his creepy island or done anything wrong. Nonetheless, the extreme plane of being accused of the opposite of who I am with. The strong must protect those who cannot protect themselves, especially vulnerable children. I will gladly accept the amount of future pain to do more to protect kids and give them a chance to grow up and have a happy lives. Elon Musk. But yeah, longevity guru Peter Attie keeps CBS new roles despite showing up in the Epstein files. Well, as I said, there's a bunch of fucking people on this shit, and the whole thing is, it's if they're on the Epstein files, it doesn't mean they're guilty. But if they're on the Epstein files, a lot of people, will have lots of things to say about like them or lots of questions to them. And then there obviously will be people that are guilty, but the thing is, who's innocent and who's guilty is really the part where everything's blurred because the investigation was, in my opinion, very, very fucking poorly done. Now let's get live to the little Fox News thing.
Agreed to have transcribed, filmed depositions at the end of the month. Here to tell us more, the congressman has been trying to get them to testify for what, years? Congressman James Comer, House Oversight Committee Chair. Congressman Comer, Tell us about how this went down, because last week it was they were not coming to testify. They give you the big stiff arm.
Yeah. Well, they didn't think that any Democrats would support this, but the Democrats on the Oversight Committee met with the victims, the Epstein victims, and they want everybody that's photographed with the victims, anyone that's spent a lot of time with Epstein or Maxwell. They want everyone to answer questions, and unlike President Trump, neither Clinton has ever answered any questions about Epstein. They've never done a sit-down interview. They've never talked about it. And obviously, they didn't want to come in front of the Oversight Committee.
He's talking about when they were supposed to appear in court, I think like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and they never did. It was related to the Epsteins, and yeah, the subpoenas never worked. So later on, they finally decided that they said they were actually going to appear in court, and whether they just skip out again is, up for debate because I can't tell the future, but we're gonna see the Clintons part in this too. Most likely, I'm just gonna say, most likely they're gonna say a bunch of rambling bullshit that doesn't actually answer questions because Bill Clinton is a smart man. Whether you like him or hate him, Bill Clinton is a fucking smart man, and he's very good. He's very good with words in specific. Uh, most likely he's gonna find some way to use this for his advantage or just to say nothing at all.
He had a markup for contempt when they missed their date that they were supposed to testify. And to their surprise, a majority of Democrats on the Oversight Committee voted with all the Republicans. Then they spent a week trying to intimidate me and say our subpoena wasn't lawful, and then try to get the Democrats back together to not vote for it, to make it a partisan vote, thinking they could beat it in court if it was a partisan vote. And there were several Democrats that were going to vote to hold Bill Clinton in contempt for not showing up for subpoena. So that's how we got here. They knew they were going to be held in contempt. They knew when Steve Bannon and Navarro had been held in contempt happened to them, and they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, so it's not a question. It's not a question whether they're going to testify. They are going to testify.
They are testifying.
And for people who don't understand the process here, I assume you would have preferred for this to be public testimony, but I imagine a good lawyer would negotiate this behind closed doors. Was that a deal breaker?
Well, no, it's going to be public because we're going to record it. There'll be an audio, there'll be a video, and there'll be a transcript. So every American's going to be able to watch the entire of this.
But didn't they offer to do it in public?
Yeah,
they
said they would do it. They said they would do it. Well, they want a hearing.
Then why not do it?
Well, they want a hearing, Laura. And anyone who's ever watched a congressional hearing where you go 5 minutes Republican, 5 minutes Democrat, Democrats and Republicans are yelling, a substantive interview will be conducted through deposition. If they want, after the depositions, to come back for a public hearing, then my members on the Oversight Committee would love to have the Clintons in a hearing. But the subpoena and the contempt was about them blowing off a deposition. And we're going to have each Clinton in for a day-long deposition. Then after that, if they want to have a hearing, Laura, they are more than welcome to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee.
I'll be in the front row. Congressman, thank you. Great to see
you. Okay, so there's that. Let's go up. And we have a lot more, but this one's old, but this one's related to Pizzagate and them saying there's a batch of elites eating babies and stuff like that. And this is some lady screaming about it in the past. She said, oh no, that's disgusting. She said they're eating them. Yeah, I wasn't aware of anything. I mean about the murders, yes. But they had eaten humans. So yeah, there's that. This one's from 2009. And it's a model screaming out pedophiles eating people as rituals and sacrifices in an elite party. I hope that's not true, but I will not put that above actually happening. Oh yeah, there's this shit. Oh god. Yeah, someone's there. I don't know who any of these people are. Let's see. Lady Gaga and Manor experiencing Lhasa. Okay, Lady Gaga. Okay, let me actually check that. So, 2013. Okay. Lady Gaga is nonchalant as she, yeah, nonchalant as she eats fake blood off a woman's naked body at art show. What the fuck? Okay, I hope this article is correct. A woman who wore a meat dress, never going massively unfazed by even the most ghoulish piece of performance art. But still, there's an incredible nonchalance about Lady Gaga as she scooped fake blood sauce from a woman's naked body in the 20th annual benefit for the Watermill Center. Gaga arrived in the performance artist Marina Abramovic Center and director Robert Wilson, and they mingled their stars like Hugh Jackman and Winona Ryder. Yeah, the 27-year-old then caused even more of a commotion by bidding $6,000 to buy Abramovic work and wall-mounted quartz brick. Dan Vaughn, oh yeah, Jesus Christ. But yeah, after the exhibit, like, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck is this bullshit? What the fuck? Oh, the septum ring. Yeah, there's that shit. Okay. So I hope I hope that's actually what it is. I really hope so. Wow, there's the art show. Okay, now we get to Ghislaine Maxwell talking, and let's see.
As far as I'm aware, a professional masseuse showed up for a massage. There is nothing inappropriate or incorrect about that. And your mischaracterization of it, I think, is unfortunate.
How many teenagers did he have that were professional masseuses that worked in his home?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
How many?
First of all, I'm not aware of teenagers who worked in his home. As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. From what I remember, Jeffrey Epstein's home had a ridiculous fucking amount of massage chairs and massage things around his house. Apparently, most likely, a lot of his fantasies revolved around getting massages and doing stuff after that. That's at least what I heard, but yeah, there's that. And as for this, maybe she doesn't know the number, but as for whether or not she knows what people did, most likely she did. Most likely she at least knew some of it. Maybe not all the people, but at least maybe a decent chunk of it. And we get into here. This once again, CNN having to tell that Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago in 2003. But let's get back to this.
Spa worker from Mar-a-Lago often made house calls to Jeffrey Epstein's home, 2 miles away. But those house calls, quote, came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported to managers that he had pressured her for sex. The HR manager faxed Trump a letter suggesting that the club ban Epstein, and Trump agreed, which does mirror the president's own public comments about why he cut ties with Epstein. The White House is responding to the...
So, there's that. We get over here. We get to what Fishback was talking about here, about the Epstein stuff.
Bring back public executions.
Put this shit up. What the fuck? Mm-hmm.
The last public hanging was in 1924.
Holy shit.
Florida. They're far safer and far more humane than that lethal injection nonsense. And I'm not talking about the Pfizer shot. If you do to women what Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirators did, 3 words, hang them high.
Why the fuck is this lady raising her hand like she's at a kindergarten waiting to ask a question? But I actually agree with this. I remember recently we lowered the... No wait. We put the age that people can be hanged or trialed for the death penalty at 12 years old or younger if they are convicted of raping a minor. So that's good, and you know, at least as far as I know, this is a very Florida-specific law. So, as you know, once again, a lot of states are pretty far behind us.
That's it. Hang them high. We're gonna bring.
I fully support in this. Anyone that's convicted, found of doing any wrongdoing, I fully support that. And we go here. The fact that in a world where Alex Jones was most likely spot on about elites eating babies, and the adrenochrome thing is mind-boggling. I've always said the real world is just nuts as any movie, and these people need medieval threats, medieval levels of purging from society. Yeah, Alex Jones being right all the fucking time is fucking crazy. But let's get into this. This was one day after 9/11, and we're gonna see what Alex Jones had to say.
Did you know back in the 1960s they bombed the USS Liberty knowing it was one of our ships?
I know that.
Because it caught the radio chatter of them killing thousands of Palestinian children during that invasion, and they torpedoed it as they begged for hours on the radio, and LBJ sat there in 63 and let them do it. I don't support the...
That part is 100% true. Which is that, as far as I know, he didn't think Israel would attack the ship, but after he found out, it was like 40 minutes to an hour later, he literally told 2 rescue teams to come back and just let them blow up the ship. This is what I consider one of the, like, very dark moments in American history, because I believe if JFK was president at the time, he would have probably had them shoot down those fucking planes if those sailors died. He probably would have, but LBJ had like a really special connection to Israel, and I'm gonna say this is one of those bad moments that it's really, you know, as a president, it's really bad that not only he did that, but he actively colluded in hiding it and pretend nothing ever happened. Yeah.
Palestinians either. They're all hyped up and psychotic. But Israel's gonna get us nuked, always backing them up like this. Israel calls the Palestinians goyim or cattle or dogs or subhuman. Jesus. They keep them on concentration camps. I got video of them taking Palestinian women's tomatoes they grow and breaking their water containers and stealing. That's why you have this. And our children are going to die. We're going to get nuked because of this. Iran's got the nukes now. Syria.
Oh yeah, we don't worry. We took care of the nukes. It did take a long fucking time, but we took care of the nukes. The nukes are fucking gone now.
We're going to have nuclear war because Israel likes to go around bombing everybody. I'm sorry. It's just the facts. I have been supportive of Israel for many years. When I found out what they do, shooting little Palestinian children in the genitalia and laughing, it's on video. They call them goyim. They call them dogs. They call the Arabs cattle. And then the corrupt Arab governments that are in league with this government, it's really a sick Hegelian dialectic, order out of chaos, bringing the world crises, bringing them terrorism, so we'll accept a highly dictatorial police state regime. It's happening. The world is a-changing, and they're telling you to give up your liberty for security.
And he actually is right about that, and here's the thing. The thing is, it actually always fucking works, which is, later on, he made the Patriot Act. There was also things like TSA, border security got stricter, ICE was made, and I'm not entirely against those things being for national security, but it's just more like, when he said people are willing to give up their freedoms, he actually is correct. A lot more people would rather give up their freedoms and give more control to the government than they would do the opposite. And it's pretty true based off of lots of stuff. The welfare state, more taxes, the Patriot Act, like lots of shit. But generally it is the female voters. Like very generally it's because of the female voters. I'm not even gonna lie. Here's Alex Jones again. Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones was right in charge.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Alex Jones was right about the atrazine and what it does to frogs.
They took atrazine and they put it in a tank with 40 frogs, and 30 of those frogs were chemically castrated. 4 of them turned into females and produced fertile eggs.
I don't like.
Oh yeah, man. Alex Jones. Even if he's not right about 100% everything, even if he's right, he's probably right about at least 80%, maybe 70% of all the stuff he said. And that alone is fucking high. That alone is terrifyingly high. Then we have this. A major investigation is underway to determine if reports are true that the current New York City mayor, Zoran Mondani, is the biological son of Jeffrey Epstein. And yeah, that's one thing, but I remember I actually saw this. This picture it was in the early 2000s. I don't remember what year they specified, but I don't believe Zoran is this baby. He would be way too young to be New York mayor right now. So I don't think he himself is involved or even knows about any of this. I'd guess maybe his mom has more of a part in this rather than him specifically. But yeah, look at that. There's Bill Gates and there's Jeffrey Bezos, Maxwell, Epstein, Bill Clinton, and then I don't know who these people are in the back, but there's them. Here's just another shoe on head. Alex Jones was right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, that's fucking right, man. Dude, Alex Jones being so right about everything. Fuck, man. Maybe I should make a jar and put it on my channel eventually. Here's Joe Rogan with Alex Jones.
He was the guy who told me about Epstein's Island more than a decade ago, and I thought it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. I was like, what are you saying? There's an island. Like, it sounds like a plot in a movie. There's an island where they fly famous rich scientists and politicians, and they compromise them with underage girls and get it on film so they could use it against them. I'm like, what? That sounds like horseshit. That sounds like lizard people. It sounds like, 5G creates COVID. Same thing.
Yeah.
But turns out it was true. And it's one of many things. He was the first one to warn me about a social credit score system. He's like, they're going to try to implement a social credit score system, and your money is going to be tied. They'll have centralized digital currency, and your money will be tied to your social credit score system, and you step out of line, you won't be able to buy things. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to do anything. They're going to try to keep you within a 15-minute radius of your home, and they're starting to do that in places.
Yeah,
all of it's real. But he was the guy who...
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Alex Jones is one of those people where you talk to him and you're like, this guy is batshit crazy, and then you look back and you're like, okay, this guy might actually be onto something. It's one of two things. Either Alex Jones is actually right about everything, or he's so fucking batshit crazy that when things actually happen the way he told you they happen, like, you're actually surprised. You're actually surprised and be like, wow, this guy got this shit right. But yeah, here's DOJ. This one, they're gonna allow all the members of Congress and the House to see the unredacted files in February 9th, and then they're gonna be able to have little notepads on them and write things that they see in the files. So we're gonna get into that, and they'll be able to see the pictures of people unredacted. So yeah, that's gonna be a big part, and yeah. And here's that. If we make it extremely clear, Clinton abused kids, prison. Bill Gates abused kids, prison. Musk abused kids, prison. Trump abused kids, prison. I agree. If any of these guys are trialed and convicted of doing that, I fully agree. And then this is Bill Clinton. I have called for the full release of the Epstein files. I've provided a sworn statement of what I know, and this week I agreed to appear in person before a committee, but still not enough for Republicans of the House Oversight Committee. Now Chairman Coomer says he wants cameras, but only behind closed doors. Who benefits from this arrangement? It's not Epstein's victims who deserve justice, not the public who deserve the truth. It serves only partisan interests. This is not, in fact, finding. It's pure politics. I will not sit idly as they use me as a prop in closed-door kangaroo court by a Republican Party running scared. If they want answers, let's stop the games and do this the right way in a public hearing where the American people can see for themselves what this is really about. And as I said, I actually fully agree with him being recorded because, as we've seen many times, like there's many interviews where if you do it privately, they can cut it up and change it to a way that benefits them more than it benefits you. And that shit happened recently with Nick Shirley in one of his interviews with Channel 5. And then another older one was during the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview. They cut it up in a way that made her sound smarter as well. There was that. So I agree with a full video, a full uncut video being released of what him and everyone else says. So these are all the people involved. We got Trump, Musk, Jackson, Gates, whatchamacallit, DiCaprio, don't know, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, George Bush, don't know, Jeffrey Epstein, don't know. He looks like one of the guys from the UAE, most likely the prince or someone associated with him. And there's more people. Maxwell right here. Yeah, I don't know who all of these people are in specific. But yeah, these are all the really big names associated with it. Yeah, there they are. But yeah, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show off a few videos, a few extra videos related to this, and then that'd be all. But here we have Bill Gates, where he's planning to talk with people.
A very prominent person caught up in all this is Bill Gates, of course, claims that he picked up a sexually transmitted disease from a Russian woman. He's denied that publicly. But listen to Melinda Gates, the former wife of Bill Gates, talking about all of this.
Whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. Well, and I am so happy to be away from all the muck that was there.
She's happy she's no longer married to Bill Gates. She's happy to be away from the muck, as she put it. And we've just seen this interview with Bill Gates on Channel 9.
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
There we go. I never met any women. Wow, this is getting curiouser and curiouser, Esther.
Yes, it is. And unfortunately for Bill Gates, now he has to probably deal with the insinuation, at least for many people, that Melinda chose to divorce him and get herself out of that world. Also because of his association or his tenuous links, which he denies, with Jeffrey Epstein. The allegation that he presumably got an STD from a Russian prostitute that was associated with Jeffrey Epstein was actually written.
To be honest, I would say, at least for him, this is one of the better accusations, because if it's just a Russian prostitute getting an STD from, that's why you divorced, I say he got off a lot easier than some of the other people, because some of the other people had really bad accusations.
In a note by Jeffrey Epstein to himself. So it wasn't actually a form of correspondence. So there are allegations that he wrote that for the purposes of explicit blackmailing, which again will become clearer later on down the line. But obviously the damage is already done. It's just a terrible, terrible story.
Shocking.
Yeah, there's that. Let me get into this. So this one's Keir Starmer, where even he got the shockwaves of the Epstein files. And let's see what he says. Here's my take. I'm not saying we should prosecute him for this if he's not found guilty in any way. But man, we need to get this retard out of office. He's bad. Everything he's done to the British people alone is grounds for getting him out of office and putting him in jail. But if he goes down for this, it's a win. It's still a win.
Have lived with trauma that most of us can barely comprehend. And they've had to relive it again and again. They have seen accountability delayed and too often denied.
it kind of sounds like your government. But what about all the immigrants that are, just happily, doctors and engineers happily doing stuff in your government, and while you actively lie, psyop, and cut off all the information to your populace. Like, to be honest, you got some worse things ahead of you.
I want to say this. I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him. And sorry that even now you're forced to watch this story unfold in public once again. Serious allegations and serious evidence has emerged concerning Mandelson's conduct, including his relationship with Epstein, a convicted sex offender. It had been publicly known for some time that Mandelson knew Epstein, but none of us knew the depth and the darkness of that relationship. Information that was not known at the time of his appointment.
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also, finally, hints to this potentially being Jeffrey Epstein's YouTube channel. But it's just mostly a guy playing around the world, doing a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Bro, that's fucking shit quality. So this video was uploaded in 10 years ago, which would have been 2016? Damn, son. But yeah, during 2016, people still had better computers than this. This was the PlayStation 4 days, bro. But yeah, when's the apology vid? We know you aren't dead, bro. Drop the next episode. The Wi-Fi on the island can't be this bad. Can't be this bad, bro. Yo, Big E, release the baby villagers. All that cap taking up this disk space. It's always the Minecraft YouTubers. This feels like watching Osama singing Poker Face. I'm so happy that my favorite YouTuber is finally getting the recognition he's always deserved. Hopefully he didn't get into any kind of allegations. Haha, am I right? Hero Brian was on the island. For the next chapter, invite your friends to your island. Don't be stingy. Invite must too. Look in your cave looking for diamonds. I'm in the same cave looking for miners. Now has entirely new meaning. But yeah, it could potentially be Epstein's YouTube channel for Minecraft, and so I'm gonna end it all here. But as always, these are a lot of serious allegations. We're still waiting for the other 3 million files to be fully released. But as for how things are gonna go, we don't fully know yet without the second part's release. But yeah, this is pretty much all.